The courtroom held its breath as a 12-year-old boy stood, eyes locked on the judge. His voice trembled, but his words were clear. Words that silenced the room and shattered everything that came before. Papers dropped. Faces turned. Somewhere. In the back, someone whispered, "No, it can't be." But it was. A forgotten child, a sealed past, and a truth too heavy to hide any longer. This isn't just a courtroom drama. It's a story that exposes what the system tried to bury. Where are you watching from? Drop your city below. 12-year-old Jamal Thompson had grown up in the quiet shadow of Atlanta's courthouse square, raised by his foster mother, Ms. Green, a kind woman who took in children no one else would. He loved comic books, played pickup basketball with neighbors, and always did his chores before dinner. To most, he was just another kid trying to grow up right. But Jamal always carried questions about where he came from. His birth records were sealed, his past a locked door no one wanted to open. Still, life moved on, routine, predictable. Until one day, a legal mix-up put Jamal on the witness stand for a petty theft he didn't commit. It was supposed to be a simple hearing. But the moment Jamal stepped into that courtroom, something shifted. He looked across the room, eyes locking with the judge. And in that instant, a buried truth began to claw its way to the surface. Jamal sat stiffly on the witness bench, his feet barely touching the floor. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. Another. Black boy caught up in the system. No one cared that he hadn't stolen anything. A store clerk had pointed him out, and that was enough. Ms. Green tried to speak for him, but her voice was dismissed, her presence barely acknowledged. The judge, a stern white woman in her 40s, flipped through paperwork without making eye contact. Jamal stared at her. Something gnawed at him. Her face, her eyes, the faint crease between her brows. It felt familiar. As the prosecutor rattled off charges, Jamal's heart pounded. He had been in that store. He had touched a toy but put it back. Still, security had grabbed him like he was dangerous, like a threat. No one believed his side. Then came the social worker's testimony, a report that mentioned something strange. Jamal's biological mother had once worked in the very courthouse he now stood in. That's when he looked at the judge again. Longer this time. Something inside him shifted. She paused mid-sentence, glancing at Jamal with a flicker of discomfort, like seeing a ghost. He didn't blink, didn't look away. The clerk called for a recess, but no one moved. In that heavy silence, one thought screamed in Jamal's head. She knows who I am. And when court resumed, Jamal did something no one expected. He stood, faced the judge, and spoke 6 words that shattered the entire room. Jamal's voice cut through the courtroom like a blade. "You're my mom." Gasps echoed off the marble walls. The judge's face went pale, her hands trembling slightly as she gripped the bench. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then, murmurs erupted. Lawyers, clerks, even the bailiff exchanging stunned glances. Jamal didn't flinch. He pulled from his pocket a photo, worn, faded, edges curled. A woman holding a baby. The same eyes, the same scar above the eyebrow. The judge stared at the image, frozen. She reached for her water, but her hand missed the glass. Everyone was waiting. For a denial, for an explanation. But all she said, in a whisper only the front row heard, was, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." And just like that, Jamal's life, and hers, was no longer a secret. The case was dismissed. The courtroom never recovered from the shock. The judge, Jamal's birth mother, recused herself quietly and days later resigned. A private adoption sealed in shame. A system that made it easier to bury a child than face the consequences. Jamal returned home, no longer just a boy with questions, but a boy who exposed a truth deeper than any trial could hold. His story spread. shared in schools, in forums, in quiet conversations that made people uncomfortable. But it wasn't just about him. It was about how many children like Jamal are mislabeled, discarded, forgotten, until one brave moment forces the world to see them. How many lives are locked behind closed files and silent courtrooms? If this story moved you, share it. Someone else might need to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more real, powerful stories.